And it's like my son, I truly believe saved my life in 2020.
Wow.
And obviously God too. So let's get it.
Today's guest is somebody who doesn't just speak purpose, he lives it. Jordan Miller is the founder of Generation Y, a powerful movement that impacts students across the country by helping them discover their why, fight through mental battles, and believe in something greater than their circumstances. But Jordan's more than just a speaker or a founder. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a content creator, and a man of conviction whose journey is just as inspiring as the work he does. This episode isn't just about Generation Y, it's about what it means to keep showing up when no one's clapping, how fatherhood and marriage sharpen your mission, and what happens when you choose purpose over applause. So, wherever you're listening, turn it up, lock it in, and let's dive into a conversation with someone who is not just changing lives, but he's building legacies. Jordan, you've worn a lot of hats: speaker, creator, founder, husband. When all those titles fall away, who is Jordan Miller at its core?
First of all, what up, Michael? It's good to see you, bro.
Good to see you as always.
Yeah, man. I did not get the studio, so I'm in my garage and we're just thugging it out like that, man. So, but you were
Out the trap,
saying,
we love it.
yeah, right. Repeat the first question one more time. I'm sorry. I just wanted to catch up with you.
No. You're good. So when all titles kind of fall away, who
Yep.
is Jordan Miller at his core? So take away the founder, husband, father, creator.
Yeah.
Who are
Who are you? Who am I? Jordan Miller, man, I would say I am a very passionate, loyal, God-fearing, sarcastic, loving person, man. I genuinely, without doubt, love people to my core. And a lot of my speaking engagements or conferences or anything that we do, man, I say this every time, but the community college that I went to and graduated from didn't have a degree in loving people. So I mastered that degree over these past 8 years through Generation Y, man. And so yeah, bro, even through losing people, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I would say those main things, that's what Jordan is.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If someone was to ask your son 20 years from now who his dad was, what would you hope he would say?
Alive? I'm playing. 20 years from now, he'd be 27. So, dang, he would be like close to my age right now. That's crazy. Man, I would say I hope that people, or he would be able to tell people exactly what I said, man. Is like he was for, like, perfect example. Like my grandpa that passed in 2020 or 2020, 2021, sorry. And he was in the military. He got out of the military. He started traveling and doing missionary work and going around, and literally was like, whenever I look as a step out of my life view, whenever I look at his life, I'm like, this is the exact same thing that I did or that I'm doing right now. He did that. But he got out of the military. He went into full-time ministry, but he was a traveling evangelist. So he packed up his family, go to one city, go to the next city, live there, go to the next city, all that kind of stuff. And then he did that for probably a decade. And then he went to Granbury, Texas, planted a church there, and then impacted the whole city. And whenever he was 82, I believe, 81 or 82, he passed away. And at his funeral, bro, was like so packed. You know what I'm saying? And you just saw the love that he imparted on people, you know? And man, I didn't mean to get this deep.
No, that's a true legacy.
At the beginning, bro, but yeah, man, you just see that, like, you know, people showed up to share and celebrate his life because he showed up for them at one point. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
And then I think about my other grandparents' side, and they love God, they love people, but it's not as, like, You know what I'm saying? And I'm just
sure.
envisioning their funeral, and I'm like, it won't be the same. You know what I'm saying? And whenever I'm thinking about that, to long story back around to your question, I'm hoping that my son, whenever he's 27, he'll be at my funeral and be like, wow, I don't know what time I'm dying, bro. You know, but hopefully
Let's hope
not.
a lot more than that.
On me, right. But I would say whenever I pass and my son is looking at my life and he was talking to his friends, bro, he would say that he genuinely showed up for me. He showed up for friends. He showed up for family, and he was the most consistent person in my life. So that's what I would like.
So, you're getting old. We got them old knees. I feel it. I know every day I wake up, dude. I feel that ache in my back. Sometimes when when you're sweeping and then you just may like sweep a little bit too hard and you get that little pinch in your back. I'm getting to that
You
age.
said sweep,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't I don't know what happened. So I think it
bro. How old are
was
you? You're
I'm
20 some.
no, dude. I'm 31.
Bro, I'm 33, bro. You are okay.
So
You are
I would say like
okay.
a few months ago,
All right.
dead honest. I think there was like something on the ground. So I bent over to go grab it and pick it up. Instantly, dude, I was on my bed for like 45 minutes because my back I pulled something. I don't know what it was.
Bro, you just but from bending over?
Yeah,
We
I'm
need to
getting
get you
there.
some calisthenics,
I need to
dog.
get in the gym, bro. That's what I need to
Nah,
do.
for
I
real.
was gonna say, we're getting a little bit older. We're getting up there in time. You had a journey. We've all had a journey.
Yeah.
So, what's something about your journey that people may praise, but you personally deal with and wrestle with behind the scenes?
That's a good question. I would what's funny is that I want my son to know that I love people and showed up for them,
Uh huh.
but I genuinely have a hard time showing up for myself.
Ooh.
In the sense of like I love working out. I have to do it for my health and physically and all that kind of stuff. But well, we all do. But I'm saying like for me personally,
Yeah, no. You're just saying this because
so
what I was just talking about. You trying to inspire me. Get in the gym, bro.
right. I start doing some motivational workout videos for you to clip. No, but yeah, bro. I just have a hard time like receiving love, if that makes sense. Like I love gassing people up. I love like bringing out people's purpose and their pinpointing what they're good at um and then helping them get to where they want to go, if that makes sense. And then whenever I do that and then I go home and it takes me 2 hours just to plan out a post because I'm overthinking it so much or I'm hating the way whatever. And then I just end up not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
whatever. And then I genuinely just, I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like these screens, hang on. Let me answer your question. That's exactly what it would be. Like, I would have hard times, just like people talking really good about Jordan or Generation. I love it when people praise Generation Y, but whenever it's Jordan, then I'm like, all right, let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, bro. Like I think I do know why. I have that not weird, but I just have a little insecurity about because the things that I hear from other people, yeah, I just have a hard time like believing it in myself because I know behind closed doors, all I do is overthink. All I do is, sometimes I get stuck in this hole of like, thinking about what happened in the past or like regrets that I have or things that I wish I did or didn't do or XYZ. And I feel like we all have a sense of that, but sometimes I just get in that mode, that I feel like it hinders me from receiving what other people have.
Do you think you have like imposter syndrome? So by that kind of meaning, a lot of times where, for instance, you've grown a pretty good platform. You've grown Generation Y. We all love Generation Y and what you do. Is there a lot of
Thank
times when you kind of just feel that maybe, you're not who you think you are, if that makes sense?
To an extent, yes. Well, yeah. I think you beautifully put, Michael. Very
Hmm.
good. I would say in the sense of like I don't think that, because this is even like whenever, I'm talking about, let's say, okay, perfect example. Like I get asked to go speak at businesses or corporate events or anything like that. Bro, I get so nervous. And those are the only times I get the most nervous because I'm in front of adults. And I'm not very big on talking with adults because I'm just like, I feel like I'm too raw sometimes or too like, I talk with kids all the time, you know what I'm saying? And like impacting them and all that. Anyways, so like I'll go there and then that's the first thing, adults. And then second thing is talking to people that, have degrees or business degrees or and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I graduated from community college. I've literally been devoted my life into impacting kids for the past almost 8 years. And that's all I did, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so, but the experience is what they want to hear. So I have to overplay that in my mind of being like, they want to know what happened in the field. It's just like whenever you're talking to a soldier, it's like, I love talking to soldiers and stuff because for one, obviously they fought for our freedom and they're fighting for our freedom and stuff like that. But also it's like, they're in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? They will see things that I will never see or that I won't want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like these people, that are at a cubicle for a long time or at a whatever, like they want to see these content creators or they want to see these people who go to schools and travel outside the state, travel outside the country, go do speaking events. Like they want to see that because like they hardly have time to go out there. You know what I'm saying? And relate with people or learn about this or XYZ. And it's like, sometimes I have to just constantly remind myself of the positive perspective of what Jordan Miller brings to the world. Only because I feel like there's always that, not, demon, quote unquote, but like that dark side of your brain that constantly plays, you're not good enough. You're not bringing anything to the table. You're not, all these things. And the list can go on and on, but it's like, that's what I constantly deal with, bro, on a honestly regular basis. And so, and then like we were saying, like on social media and stuff, I genuinely, this is what, even in high school and stuff, I genuinely despised when a motivational speaker came to our school or like into our class.
That's interesting. Why?
Exactly. Because it was so corny.
Okay.
And all of my friends, we would be the ones. We would be the ones in the back of the class, like making fun or like, making up our own motivational talk.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Hopefully Marcus still hear this, huh?
Hey man, he's heard it before Marcus. For sure. But like I genuinely just didn't like it. And there was one time my freshman year of Redlands Community College here in the city-ish metro area. And this one dude came in and he was, bro, hilarious. And he kept my attention for 2 hours. He related with me. He told stories. He had breakout sessions. And then I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. And then on the flip side of it, the freshman year of my college life was the worst year of my life. That was the time that I attempted suicide twice. And then a year after that, I lost one of my friends to suicide. And so at the moment that I get inspired, I get knocked down. And then at the moment that I get knocked down, I get pulled even further down because I lose somebody that is closest to me. And then in that moment, I'm thinking like, I need something because I know what I was inspired by because I can't replicate that feeling. And then I know what I have. And during that time, I was impacting, or not impacting, but a group of my friends, we were all doing an open mic night in the city called OP Lounge, Ordinary People Lounge. And it was a bunch of college kids that were rappers, dancers, spoken word artists, motivational speakers. And we didn't know what we were doing, but all we were doing was creating a community and culture that supported each other through the arts. And all I knew was this is how everybody should be supported. This is how everybody should be loved. This is how everybody should create a environment that makes people feel welcomed and that they're happy that they are alive. And then 2020 hits, 2017 hits, and Oklahoma goes from 32nd to the third leading state in the nation for teen suicide. And then in that moment, bro, it was just like a God opened the cloud and was like, this is where you need to go. What you need to use is the creative arts, and who you're gonna do it with is your friends, and now you know the why, which was a statistic. And so I connected obviously really heavily with the suicide topic, and I just wanted to see kids stay another day, man, and find purpose and get that feeling that I got whenever I found my community and my people. And then and if it was that easy for me with no help, no counselors, no this and no that, I just literally found my people, bro. And I feel like whenever you find your people, they will be able to unlock your potential to your purpose. And if that can be able to happen for me, bro, that's all we do every time we go into a school is help change the atmosphere. If you have a mundane atmosphere at your school, Generation Y will shake it up. And not only will it shake it up just for fun, but it will start to build a foundation for purpose. And that's what we do, bro. So
let me ask you something, and this isn't even one of my questions, but going off your story, you have a really, really strong story. This is something I always talk about a lot to those when I'm talking with content creation, when I'm talking with brands about their branding, their personal branding, is the art of the storytelling, which the storytelling comes from our own story. Is that with Generation Y? Do you tell that story much often? Because that's extremely impactful.
Thank you, bro. I would say like regularly, like if it's, in a conference or at school or whatever, I would be like, I'm a suicide survivor. I attempted twice when I was a freshman in college. I lost my friend to it, and a little bit of what I said, yes, but probably not like a full detailed version like that. Only because, bro, just it goes back to that other thing. It's like I genuinely don't like talking about myself.
Mhm.
I just love creating an environment for people to feel free, and that was a slogan. And I got a shirt of it, but even from the very beginning, my friend, one of the best choreographers in Oklahoma, I believe, and I'm probably biased, but one of my friends, Josh, we were sitting in his car, and I told him about this Generation Y, GNWY. We're going to talk about purpose. We're going to go into schools. And him and I were kind of a part of another group that was just talking about anti-bullying, which was great. But kids kept coming up to us and asking, okay, well, why am I being bullied? Why does my parents bully me? And then why do I keep going back to my classrooms and blah, blah, blah. So there's so many questions. You go into schools now, bro, and talk about purpose, bro, there's no question. Because if you can set a foundation of purpose in somebody's life, if somebody's being bullied, they can always have that foundation of purpose. You can't tell me what I am and what I'm not if I know who I am and what I'm going to do, because I have my purpose. And
is that still something we do? Is that still something we do, snapping?
Oh, facts. Yeah. I don't know if the kids do, but I definitely do. And we in our 30s, baby, let's snap it up. So yeah, and so anti-bullying. So there's that. You know your purpose. Nobody can tell you what you're not if you know your purpose, right?
Yes, sir.
And then, suicidal ideations or thoughts or anything like that is like, we can't really help the thoughts that flash through our brain. That's like if I say that I deal with it all the time, I honestly, sometimes I just can't control if a doubt pops into my mind. But yeah. I can control what I can revert back to, which is the truth. And purpose is the truth. I am here for a reason. I am here and I'm called to do something great. So I'm going to fall back on that every time. And that is if my foundation is what's going to propel me up, then, fall back on purpose every time. And so that's we start talking about purpose in schools, which I believe we started doing that. Well, I don't want to say it because Tom Coverley's been doing it probably, but we've been talking about purpose, man, for the past 8 years, and it's genuinely changed conversations. It's changed students' perspectives on how they want, to pursue life. I could tell you countless of stories, about students like having this aha moment of like, Oh, so us talking about like mental health and suicidal ideation or depression or anxiety or stuff, it's really not that complicated. Like I feel like as a kid and even as an adult, bro, and people above us probably make it harder on us just to, I don't know, they didn't know any better or they're just trying to learn how to verbalize it.
When I talk about like your story and the
Yeah.
branding, one thing that does is it helps also it helps your donor community or those who you're trying to reach out to
Yeah.
feel more connected, because a lot of people, a lot of us, we have a past, and a lot of us try to hide our past, especially with social media. I mean, a lot of us, we put on a facade of who we are and who we act like we are, but in reality we got demons and we just did something that we shouldn't be doing about a week ago, and that's never going to come to the day of light. But a lot of people as well with higher income, even those who are donors, for instance, a lot of them can connect with a type of story like that, can truly see, who you are and your mission and your passion, instead of just, you saying, hey, this is what I do and this is what we do, but them standing behind. Because a lot of times, I mean, and I'm going to revert to something that's completely segue, something slightly different, but I'm not too sure you're familiar with Shark Tank. Shark Tank, a lot of times you'll see somebody comes in there and they pitch an idea, and the idea may be shit. But what ends up happening is one of the sharks end up going, I love you though, and I love who you are and what you do and what you stand for. And that message, what you just said about your mom, that touched my heart. And that's something that makes me want to stand behind you and fight with you. And that's kind of something where I can say, like, even with you and your story, with a little bit of, I say production only just because you make it a little bit nice and throw it out there, it could really do some work. Like, that's the type of story I can go see on a talk show. Somebody asking you about your life and how you came up, and why Generation Y is Generation Y. In reality, that's a super strong story. I think that would be beneficial for you to talk more about.
Thank you, bro. I'll you can invoice me for that advice. So no man,
Sorry, I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out. No worries.
no, bro. No, it's great. I think no, you're definitely right, bro, cuz I mean, and like I said, that's the thing that I personally have to overcome. A lot of people love talking about themselves and a lot of people love doing all this stuff. And I don't know. I just never been drawn to doing that type of stuff, but this is what I love. I love doing spoken word. I love rapping. I love telling stories through that avenue.
Hmm.
And that's something that I've been having like a struggle with of like, how could I actually make it dope to where, and that's the thing. I just want something that's dope. And I think that's what Generation Y has been curated from is just the rawness and dopeness and people love that vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
for sure. It's
um
relatable.
right. And so and I feel like we don't have to really talk too much about us. Like we do a little bit of our story, but it's mainly like how are you able to pursue purpose today? What's the next step? And the next step is really looking inward. How can you have a better mental health? Like we talk about mental health all the time, and we've been talking about it for the past 8 years. And over the past 3 years, it's just now become like normal ish to talk about in Oklahoma. And bro,
Yeah, makes
it's
sense.
just it's wild. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is something that we've been talking about for a long time. And then now that people have come out of a pandemic, it's okay to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's sad that something like that, a world thing happened like that for us to get a little bit woken up here to be like, oh, okay, maybe my kid is not crazy whenever they talk about, oh, I'm dealing with XYZ. Like, I'm dealing with depression or anxiety. It's like, so many people jump
Yeah.
to whenever we talk about mental health, some people jump to in their mind, oh, the most extreme thing. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But mental health is that. It's like it's a spectrum of like, man, I'm feeling sad this day. Something made me really upset. It triggered me. Okay, well, where's that trigger come from? Let's figure out why that trigger is there. Like, it's not always something that's like oh, this frog is licking my toe and I'm triggered from 1991, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. It's like, it's like, what makes you tick and passionate? What makes you passionate in the right way? What makes you passionate in the wrong way? Like there's so many reasons and avenues that like our brain goes, and I think that is so fascinating and interesting. Like I brought up Pilates before we started this thing, or maybe when at the beginning, but we did a Pilates class with our group, and it was so funny because like at the end I'm just so like inquisitive and asking these questions, and this lady's like, how do you what? And I'm like, bro, I just love how like the nervous system acts and how it like the blood flow to your brain. If all we do is move and stretch, and like our bodies are meant to not be sitting still all the time. So it's like it makes sense why depression is ramping up. It makes sense because everybody's sitting on their phones and sitting at their computers and doing all this, and it's like this is why it makes sense, but it doesn't have to be that way. All this stuff is tools. All this stuff is given to us, but like we're starting to get to the point where it's using us and us not using it.
Let me ask you this. Has there ever been a time when, you questioned whether your voice truly still mattered? And how did you talk yourself through that?
Are you talking like whenever, like for suicidal attempts, I guess? Is that what you're talking about?
Just in general, because, on social media, everything is our voice. Whatever our platform we're using is our voice. Whether you're speaking up about suicide, whether you're speaking up about faith, whether you're speaking up about, being a father. Like, have you ever felt like that voice, your voice that you have, does this matter anymore? Do I feel like I'm even reaching people? Like, have you ever had that type of a thought cross your mind? How'd you handle that?
So the real raw answer is I've never felt it toward, am I making an impact? Because, bro, Generation Y, we impact over 10,000 students annually. So like, and that's in person. This is not online. This is not whatever. This is an in-person impact. And our direct messages or our, even at our mentor class that we do every week at a school here in the city, John Marshall High School, the impact is evident because the need is huge, and the way the Generation Y connects with students is so unique and authentic that it's like the impact is always there. But the raw answer is like, am I making a difference in the sense of this nonprofit stuff is just so hard. You know what I'm saying? You have to do the work. You have to find funding for the work. You have to pay the people. You have to create content. You have to create a marketing promo, build your own website, create clothing lines, and pay people along the way, as well as create a sustainability that will be able to bring more people on. And so a lot of people don't understand. Well, I feel like people like you or content creators, I feel like, or anybody in the nonprofit world, obviously they understand that, or just an entrepreneur in general. Like, just if you're an entrepreneur from the jump, you wear all the hats. And if you're not wearing all the hats, then I don't know how you did it. Good job. But
rare, very, very rare.
Very rare. But this side of it, I feel like nobody sees, bro. And that part is the part that I'm like, is it worth it? In the sense of like long nights, a lot of meetings, a lot of staying up editing stuff, a lot of questioning, is this gonna work? A lot of proposals, a lot of events, bro, a lot of trying to raise awareness about what we do, a lot of partnerships with other organizations that kind of do what you do, a lot of I'm gonna tell you my idea and then they copy and run with it because they got funding. There's a lot, bro. So it's like that part of it is very exhausting because just like you said earlier, which is so inspiring and I appreciate it. You were saying that like, the story's impactful. So it's like, let's say even for your kids, you know what I'm saying? You got how many kids?
I got 3.
Okay, perfect. Let's just pick your favorite one. I don't know. But
that ain't
I'm
coming
just
from
playing.
me.
I'll play it. But let's say like one of them, right? Somebody comes up to them and takes their lunchbox right in front of you. I mean, what do you want to do? Exactly.
I'm just gonna, just to
Right.
be honest, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Well, I ain't gonna really do it, but I'm gonna want to.
But it's your kid, and
Mhm.
you raised that, you didn't birth it, but like you're training this kid, and it's like a gift from God, bro. And you went through the hardest of times, no sleep, teaching this kid how to do everything he knows now, operating by itself, talking to people, blah blah blah, all these things, and then somebody's taking parts of this kid from you.
Yeah.
Every time you go and just present this kid to somebody and be like, I'm so proud of this one kid, that it's like, okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then you see the light that you put into that kid start to just, you know what I'm saying? And so like, it's never the impact, bro, because I know 100% and we have receipts for it. But like Gen Y impacts tons of kids. There's life change moments. There's testimonials that we have on video, testimonials we got typed out. There's like, the impact is evident. The work on behind the scenes is where I get sometimes defeated.
Scaling.
Yeah. So
no, I get that. Scaling is always the biggest and toughest thing for almost any company out there, really. Whether it's a company, whether it's a nonprofit, it's how do you scale, but how do you scale fast? And unfortunately, it's always when you get into the weeds of things, it's very difficult. It gets very questioning. You start questioning a lot of things, and it's tough. It really is tough to get that out of your head. I mean, working just what I would do in the influencer marketing space, it got very difficult at times, especially when you're doing everything yourself. Or at least it would feel like it, right? Because you wear 30 hats, you got to do 30 different things. You're operating as the strategic, like a strategic content creator, but then you got to handle all the business in the back end. And really, without a team, it's impossible to do these type of jobs and these type of works. But let me ask you something, because it kind of leads into similarly to what you've been talking about. So imagine a moment where no one claps. The crowd is gone, in essence. The camera's off. What keeps you showing up, considering that, it does get difficult at times? What keeps you showing up?
this is 11:13 p.m. Jordan. So you get the raw, and I apologize if
That's the Jordan we want.
yeah. Honestly, bro, this has been the hardest month, to be honest. And it all started in June. And ironically, it was Men's Mental Health Month. And I lost my cousin to an overdose. And then a month later, I lost my grandma, which was a couple months ago. And very few people checked in on it, and I didn't even want people to check in on it. But to your question, it's honestly God, bro, because even whenever you are going on stage and trying to be the most positive you can, you feel internally that is the imposter syndrome, because whenever you go back home, you're dealing with a lot of dark things. And I think that if it wasn't for God, my son, my wife, my parents, and a select few of my close friends, dude, like, yeah, dude, I don't talk about it very often. There's one video that I did on social media, but it was a very brief, I just mentioned it, but this would probably be the first time I've talked about it in a podcast, but for interview or whatever. In 2020, I actually had a third attempt, and our partnership was going through, or our organization was going through a bad partnership. I was going through a divorce, and then there was a point in time where I was in an apartment room with a mattress for my son, and yeah, bro. And there was some, shady stuff going on with the other nonprofit that we partner with, and I'm like, there's a point where you feel like you're trying to do everything right, but everything wrong is going against you and pulling you like trying to, influence you to go a whole different route. And in the peak of that, on top of all that, there was COVID. Like we were all shut down. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So anywho's, yeah, bro. There was a point that I was just like, this is definitely not worth it, And so, but man, I look over, and my son was there, and said, like, that thought just immediately went away, bro. And it's like my son, I truly believe, saved my life in 2020.
Wow.
And obviously God too. So it's a God thing, bro. And I don't think anything else outside of that. And I bring up what this past couple months have been the hardest is because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Even right now, bro, like the energy to just be doing this is all God. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's seasons that you go through and you're like, this is it, I'm good. And then it's like, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's at the lowest of lows, and you're just like, in that moment, what do you find? And then God even changed my perspective during 2022, not 2022, but 2020 also. Like, gratitude is a medicine, and gratitude can literally heal you. Gratitude and your shift in perspective to literally anything, like what you believe about yourself, what you believe about life, what you even think about, is like those can manifest itself into who comes into your life, who is repelled by your life. Some people haven't healed from trauma, you know what I'm saying? So they're gonna connect with you, but they don't want to stick around with you. You feel me? So it's like, I love what you do and I want to be there, but I haven't done the work yet. So you kind of, I want to be with you, but I don't at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And so, so yeah, man, there's short answer is God. So
Sure.
yeah.
I mean, I'll say, the world needs the version of you that's healing, not the version of you that has it all figured out.
Right. For sure.
At the end of the day. And, one thing for me, and I could always speak to like my own perspective, and from my experience, I've always noticed the ones who have always clapped for me are those who really don't know me. And those who don't clap for me are the ones who know me rather well. I notice this a lot with a lot of times whenever I even just on Facebook, it's a good example because a lot of those people are close people who you consider maybe friends, family friends, people you've known for years in the community. Yeah. And it seems like, they're never there to cheer you on. They're never there when you're struggling. But when something goes well, when something goes good, they're coming out of the woodworks to say how great of a job you did and they're proud of you. And it's interesting to see why that dynamic always happens.
Well, everybody wants an underdog, or everybody wants the loudest person. Like even like that social media post of, you've seen it, your congratulation is a crowd full of people, you know what I'm saying? But your, what is it? What's the other word? Not congratulations, but your hard work or something about your, like what you do behind the scenes. Like nobody wants to help you get there, but everybody wants to praise you that you did get there,
Exactly.
Everybody loves the underdog, and everybody loves the person that talks about a transformation. Everybody loves, it's a wild thing, man, which is great. But I think that it also, and I've been trying a long time to try to word this concept to be able to put it out on social media. But what about the people that are consistent? Like, why don't we praise the people that are consistent? Like, there's people who showed up, like my parents, bro. They're most consistent people in my life. I already, I was talking to my dad, like he does the same thing, bro, and it looks boring to people, but like he shows up.
That's your
He's
community.
the same person. Like he has not changed. He's not fallen to addiction, or he's not fallen to changed with friends. You know what I'm saying? He's been that same dude that's like, I love people. I'm gonna make them laugh, and we're gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I love about my dad. And it's like,
that's a good point.
How come these people are not praised? How come? But when they pass, then we're all like, oh, they were the best people. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, okay, they were the best people, but why don't we give them their flowers now? Like, let them know.
That's a
like,
fair point.
Like, Michael, you've done an amazing job. And when was the last time you've been told, aside from your wife or your kids, like, bro, you're an amazing dad? You know what I'm saying?
None. And I think, honestly, I've never necessarily seeked out or wanted anyone to really compliment me as a dad. For me, like whatever gets me going is just seeing my kid smile, see my kid happy when I come home, or her willing to come talk to me about her day, how she had fun at cheer practice, what she did at cheer practice. I don't like cheer, but she's gonna come tell me what she did. That makes me happy. Yeah. And I think those are the certain things when I feel validated and I know I'm valid. At the end of the day, like it's social media is tough, and I will say that, like, even from my own perspective, I didn't start posting because I felt like I needed a platform. I started posting because I wanted to see what it was like from a firsthand perspective. I'm always working behind the scenes and coming up with creative ideas and trying to give different idea on different concepts and working with brands. Like that's something I'm so used to. But posting myself has been something I never wanted to do. Never wanted to do it until more recent. And now you're seeing that you really have to have a personal brand. In the business world, you have to have a personal brand. And if you're not building on it, today's personal brand is social media. That's the change. Everybody is going to have a social media platform. Those people who it's funny because as soon as TikTok was being talked about shutting down, all you saw was a lot of people coming out the woodwork saying, get a job, it's time to get a job. And it's comical because it's such a different era of those people who are saying that versus like our children. Our children are going to come up into a generation where they have to be posting on social media to show who they are, who the likeness is. I mean, you look at recruiting, college recruiting nowadays, NIL deals, all that comes from your image. All that comes from what you're posting. Like this is the first time ever really where you don't have to find the email of the college recruiter to send them your game film. Now you're posting on Instagram. Now you're posting on, X, you're posting on TikTok, you're posting on these different platforms where people are now seeing your content, seeing it and reposting it, sharing it to their story, sending it to their cousin who recruits for Cal Poly or whatever the case may be. Like it's such a different generation that we're growing up in. And it's fun and interesting to see at the same time. And I feel like our generation truly, we've been able to see it from like the rise of it with a lot of creators, content creators. You look at like people like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, those people who started on Vine, like we followed along and saw a lot of the processes, and now we're able to be we're unks now. We're unks, dude. We're getting old.
Oh yeah, I mean, you swept and hurt your knee, so yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we made it, bro. We made it. Which my thing is like, you learn all the way up through your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You earn through your 30s and 40s, and then you return in like the last part of your life. And so my thing is like that system is it's life, bro. Like we are right now in our earning phases, and we're not earning, like everybody can look at earning in different ways. It could be monetarily, it could be memories
Wisdom,
with your kids, your wisdom, anything, like anything could be earning. And then whenever, I feel like I got old quicker than 30s though, low key. But like
the kids will do that.
Yes, and business, bro. But like the the thought of us earning right now and then returning this wisdom whenever we get done, like I could see that like in the tree. This sounds so stupid and cliche, but like you see it like whenever trees are growing, when they're growing season and they're like in that infant stage, they're not producing any fruit. You know what I'm saying? And then it gets to a point, it's produced the fruit and it goes through a producing the fruit phase.
And then never actually heard that concept before. That's rather accurate.
And then whenever it, releases the fruit down or gets chopped down, it goes into the dirt and then it gets replanted. So the thing about like what I'm thinking is like, and it really doesn't matter what you do. I was talking to one of my good friends today that he does a custom leather like wallets, bags, purses, like all these things, and it is actually the most. I get more inspiration. Like Jordan Miller gets more inspiration from people who are actually good at creating something. Like I could care less. I don't get motivated from videos on social media. I don't get motivated from honestly anything like digital, really. Like unless it's some rappers. Like there's a couple rappers that I'm like, I listen to them and I get inspired. But if it's like my friend, he makes physical like hand stitched leather things or like metal coins or like leather keychains, and it's like you could see the intricate detail of literally everything in this product. You go into his store, everything on the walls, everything on his shirt. I'm dumb. I literally got his one of his bandanas today. I was trying to find something, but it's like everything, like there's details in everything, and he creates everything from the designs of it. He creates everything like it's called Hicks Designs. Like it's beautiful, bro. And like
you say Hicks Design?
Yeah, HIX Designs. Check them out. But and we're gonna be doing a product thing with them, Generation Y, and one of our partners. Anyway, but stuff like that, like I think that's where God changed my mindset in the gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
If I could see the good in everything, then I could be healed from everything. If that makes sense. I can like if there's something bad that happened in my life, let's say it, and I change my perspective into, you know what, I'm glad that happened because I would never been able to look at somebody that did something bad to me, and then now in the future somebody else do something bad to me. I would not react the same if that didn't happen to me in that point in time. Does that make sense?
Okay. No, that makes perfect sense.
So let's say, 21-year-old Jordan gets shoved, made fun of, talked down to whenever, I'm trying to do something great in my life because I feel like I'm called to do, whatever, Generation Y, rapping, spoken word, all this kind of stuff. And then people are like, oh, that's trash, blah, 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 doing this, blah, and all that. And I already know that I'm trash. I just started. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? So go back to your house, hella depressed. I'm sad. Maybe I should give up. Okay, cool. A year later, or a couple years later, I get to, starting Generation Y, and then this whole perspective, mindset, shift change, and gratitude, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they were probably hating on it because either one, they want to do it, but they are not motivated to do it. Okay, cool. There's that. Two, they are great at it, but the new kid on the block is coming in and getting more love just because they're new. You know what I'm saying? So then there's another form of hate. And then I'm just stacking up all these lists of negative things. And then I'm shifting my mindset of the like, okay, cool. So now I go do this with Generation Y. We are ramping it up. We're going crazy. We're doing this and that. Thousands and thousands of students. Somebody comes up to me randomly, or I see a comment online, which we haven't gotten. This is a big example. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetically. But somebody says, man, that skit that you posted was trash, or you should do this better, or XYZ. I'm like, I could care less. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't phase me.
Shifting your mindset.
Because like, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can type behind a keyboard or anybody could do whatever, but it's like this healed version of Jordan is now what we are returning because of the perspective change from my hurt. And if healed people don't become actually free with their purpose, they will never return and help other people become free.
Yeah, hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people, but you find purpose, now free people free people. So everything is beautiful, man, if you really just look at it through a different lens, bro. Everybody is genuinely hurting in some area. Everybody. Anybody. Like, I look at my son. He did a jiu-jitsu class today, and he's 7 years old. First class. I can see it all over his face. I know that in his mind, he's like, this is the hardest thing. And I'm grappling with a girl right now, and she's murdering me. You know what I'm saying? And I can see it in his head. He's like, if I cry right now, everybody's going to make fun of me. So he's like holding it in. And I am genuinely so proud of him because at the end of it, he was like, this was hard, but I'm going to come back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You keep showing up for you, and your life is going to show up for everybody else. So
that's amazing. I know this podcast got a little bit more deep, actually more deep than I truly expected. A lot of my questions were less tailored, but it was so easier to get into the deeper aspects of things. And I truly do appreciate that. So
appreciate it, bro. It was a good time.
Kind of tailor off. I had about 3 different ideas. Whenever I talk to like creators or businesses or anything of the sort, one thing I always like to do is give them like 3 different ideas and say, hey, have you ever thought of these ideas? To see if they have. Maybe they have, or maybe it's something that they'll actually take and say, this is actually truly valuable. Maybe something I can incorporate.
By the way, this is a fire idea for you to do for your guests, by the way. So
I have 3 ideas. One idea was Generation Y mentorship circles. So in other words, you host monthly group virtual sessions, pairing students or maybe even younger creators with like a Generation Y ambassador. So like let's say you are mentoring, you have 5 students that sign in. This is a monthly thing. Those 5 students, you have 3 people, 4 people, whatever your staff looks like, right? And or volunteers. Those 3 people, you pair these kids up with those mentors, and it's like a monthly type of thing where you're building their character, you're helping them grow in different avenues.
This is insane. So I'm glad that you brought this up because before Sunday, I have never thought of this idea. 2, a donor told us to do this.
Wow.
And they said that you need to have an ambassador program because of how many kids you impact, and then how many of those kids can now become ambassadors for Generation Y, and now in turn impact other kids in their schools while we are not there. And then I was like, bet. And then I had a aha moment pretty much, which is literally exactly what you just said about the virtual thing. I had that idea literally on Sunday. So what is this, Wednesday? 2 days ago or 3 days ago. And it was in service, and it was a challenge because it was like waking me up out of this. You had a hell of a couple months. You've been beaten down so much, and I'm just like, I low-key felt exhausted before Sunday, and so heavy, bro, and so like, because if anybody knew the story and details of like what's happened with my family, or it's just a lot. So and then plus the losses of it all, so it was a shaking and waking up of like, yo, you need to get out of this funk. This is not going to just happen. Like, there's somebody somebody messaged us on Facebook, is like, if you utilize Generation Y like in the right way, you could have the new young revolution of youth students because of how you connect with them. And I was like, I don't know. So I was downplaying a lot. And then Sunday, that's whenever it happened, bro. It was like, you need to have these ambassadors and do it online because you create good content. You create quality content outside of today because this is the garage. But yeah, bro, like, and then I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So, but this is confirmation right here from Michael himself.
Hey, there's a massive opportunity. There's a massive opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as we met you guys, we knew there was something special. one thing I see from you guys is you're relating to the young crowd. Those kids are the most impressionable. Like, for instance, when I came up, when we were younger, and we'd have somebody come, we always had assemblies back in school. And we always had some adult come in and they look nice. They're dressed with their professional tie and they got everything. They look dressed to the nines. And when you see them and they're talking, you're like, okay, that's cool. But all right, cool. That was a great assembly. We wasted time. We were able to sit with our friends and that was it. We were able to shoot the shit like right next to each other.
Get out
with
of
our
class.
friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. But when you look at what you do, it can be revolutionary. It really can be. Because one thing that is struggling right now is the youth. The youth is struggling because they don't have the right mentors to look up to. I mean, they look up to an athlete one weekend and then that same athlete the following weekend is doing something crazy.
Right.
And it's like, oh gosh. And they look up to their favorite artist. And then the next weekend that artist is in jail for robbing somebody. It or that artist gets shot. Like it's sad, but that's like reality nowadays. They don't really have somebody they can go to that they can truly trust. But the way you guys approach it and you step into it with this relatability aspect of how, like, as a kid, I can see myself in someone like you guys. Like, if I was younger, I can see that because the way you guys dress, the way you talk, you're bringing that relevance to what I can see in the future. Especially as a kid, there's no kid in their right mind who's gonna say, I can see myself as this guy who has his nice loafers on and his button down shirt with his suit and tie. Like we just don't see that at a young age. And we don't see that as cool. Unfortunately, a lot of times we want to see what's cool. As a kid, that's just true reality. But you have a massive opportunity. I'd love to see what's going to come in the future too.
Oh, I would love to even expound on that idea outside of this interview or whatever, because of the fact, like, my mind is so focused on a lot of different things, but like the growth of where we could go, um, I get so not distracted, but like I'm focused on this
It's
one
tough.
thing, and then it's hard to bounce back and forth. But I would love to, because if I can create a schedule, I will do that schedule wholeheartedly. And if there's something like at the end of every month, I'm showing up for this many students, and I've got Julian or Madison or Stuart that's showing up for the second and third week or whatever, and it's a different group of students, and I think they would be so fire because we've gone
What
all
I
over
see,
the
bro,
nation, so we have so many connections with so many different students. So
what I see a lot is it's similar to, so this is a conversation. Actually, I'm going to bring up Santa. This is a conversation I had with Santa. He was in the mindset where he wanted to be a part of everything of what's going on. Fortunately, when you want to scale, you can't do that. When you do that, you start spreading yourself super thin. You're overwhelmed. You're tired. Too much is going on. You can't necessarily operate at a higher fashion if you're doing that. So, like, for instance, what I would do with them is I'm telling them, hey, look, I'll reach out to the brands. I'll conversate with the brands. I'll hop into meetings with them. I don't need you unless they ask for you. And that's going to keep your mind out of having to worry about the conversations, having to worry about what's going on. You just do you. You do what you normally do. And I'll take care of the operation aspect of it. That way, I can focus here. And then if I need to collaborate with you, I'll say, hey, what about this? Check this out. This is what we got cooking.
right.
And then maybe it's going to help you. And that's kind of a little bit of a similar sense of what I can see, at least from your end, is you're overwhelmed. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot.
Yeah.
And you need some help. Now, only you can really drive the mission, though. And that's a true fact. You have the heart for it. You have the mind for it. You have the intangibles to make it succeed. And again, I truly have no doubt in my mind to see this kind of blossom into something even bigger than what it is today.
Yeah. I appreciate that, bro. That means a lot.
So check it out. I got two other ideas.
Okay. Yes. Let's
And
get it.
second idea, it's called Generation Creator Lab.
Creator Lab?
And correct. Turning pain into purpose through content. Now, a lot of us, this is going to tailor back to what we were talking about before. We're growing up in a generation, our kids are growing up in a generation where a lot of them are wanting to be content creators. Back in the day, when we grew up, we're like, we want to be an actor, we want to be an actress. Those conversations are no longer happening from a lot of the young kids. This still happens, But for the most part, you're seeing the pivot and shift into I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a social media creator. I want to be XYZ, but it all has to do with social media, right? So, what if you had this hand on, and this similar to mentorship again, hands on mentorship and workshop series where youth learn to turn their mental health struggles or bullying experiences or maybe even identity questions into like empowering content using video, audio, art, or even storytelling. So it's a way for you to show your craft because your content's great. It is.
Thank you, bro.
It's really good. Generation Y's content is beautiful.
Thank you.
Now imagine you guys being able to teach the youth, kind of giving back in a sense, because again, they're gonna all hop on the content. Depends on what type of content they create, but you can be a driving sense of teaching them that positive content, teaching them how to be able to speak through their utilizing their emotions and bringing out some beautiful content.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. So the Y lead class that we do in John Marshall High School, it is so fire. We go there every week. We bring pizza. We do leadership, character development, mental health classes, all the things with these students. And it's all throughout the year. That's something that we talk about social media. We talk about the benefits of social media, the ways that you can utilize it. There's a couple of artists that were actually in our class, and we help them like create a show. So like at the end of the year, we do a show at Chicken and Pickle that's like highlighting our students, and it's pretty much like an open mic, and so we got the whole cheer team. We got this one artist named Kavion. He's incredible. He produces his own beats, and he raps and sings, and he's fire. But he never had a platform. And so we helped him create that platform for him. And he's acting like he's forever indebted to us because he, got that opportunity. But I'm like, bro, all you needed was somebody to believe in you. Now you can believe in yourself, And so, and then we had, cheer, and, they have a dance team. So they have a dance team in John Marshall High School. Miss Carrie, she runs the dance team, Visionary Dance Company, and they're fire. Like all these people are fire in a school where the news media used to trash them and be like, these students are not like the best students, or like they're not either. I don't know, bro. It was a long time ago, but like not that much positivity was coming out of John Marshall, and so and then we came 2 years ago and then started doing this event at the end of the year, and every week we show up, and it started changing the culture. It started changing the dynamic of these students and their mindset and stuff. And so it was just dope. And so, but talking specifically about social media content creating would be fire too. So yeah, I agree.
Okay. And here's my last one. And actually, I might even have one more kind of just talking right now.
Yeah.
But community Generation Y nights. This would be like a hybrid event. So the concept would be host live in person and stream quarterly community events. Kind of like obviously like open mic night, which just sounds like you're already doing. Family panels, which family panels would be huge. And motivational story slams featuring Generation Y team and local voices.
Yep. That would be incredible. So we just talked to my friend. Did you meet Julian? You met Julian, right? He's a tall, dark, and handsome at the... Yeah. Hey, you know it.
Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah. So with our podcast, so we're switching our Generation Y podcast to the Million Club podcast.
Okay.
We haven't dropped it yet, but it's coming, and super excited. But we created this club because we were trying to get 1 million people giving something. It could be $1, it could be $5 a month for whatever. Obviously it's Generation Y, but for however long. You know what I'm saying? And so
I remember this from last year. I actually still get my monthly notices of my $10. I get that. I get it. I love it.
That's what I like to hear, baby.
Go ahead and talk about it.
But all of the people, actually, there's two things with this. Everybody that donates monthly, those are the people that I want to start doing the end of the month thing, because those are mainly older, like either college or up age group. but start doing those video calls with them because they are part of the club. You know what I'm saying? And then you build the club members, and then you have somebody that on another night, once a month, do it for the students. So you build both parents, students, and build these bridges that it's like the Million Club takes care of like exactly what club is, 18 and up. Generation Y handles 18 and younger. Does this make sense? But the Million Club
I get it.
Fuels Generation Y.
Let me ask you, from your podcast perspective, are you going to do it live, or are you going to do it pre-recorded?
See, both. So we want to build it to where it's pre-recorded, get the audience built, because we have amazing personalities, really great connections with amazing, guests that could be on. And then we would, build the audience that way, and then go like let's say we get to Washington. You know what I'm saying? We do some schools in Washington, and then at the end of the week, we're gonna be like, hey, we have a live recording with so and so for our podcast. Everybody's invited. That's how many kids that are gonna show up. You feel me?
No, that makes sense.
And then you do a whole community night alongside with the podcast.
I will say, one thing that I do think that could be beneficial is partnering with influencers that are volunteering, those who believe in the mission, those who are willing to speak out on kind of behalf of Generation Y. And I think that could be very, very beneficial. Obviously, it's risky because, as you can see in today's day and age, one social media influencer says one thing wrong, if they're tied to Generation Y, it's obviously could be tough. But
oh yeah, for sure. I think that we would have a long vetting process for sure, but
correct.
But it's possible. It's not like we accept everybody though. You know what I'm saying? It'd be just like the same thing I do with my friends. Like if we're cool, like I know you, then yeah, wear the brand, talk about the brand, let's grow it.
Thank you, Jordan, for coming to today's podcast. This podcast was a great one. It was an enjoyable one, and I really do appreciate you being on. It's a little bit late for both of us, but
yeah.
It was a good time. And if you can, for me, can you please drop your socials for those who are watching? If anybody watched, who knows? Maybe a lot of people think that, hey, this guy sounds like shit, and I don't want to listen to him.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jordan Miller. You can follow me on anything and everything. I am Jordan Miller, all one word. I post a lot of my family, but I'm getting ready to post more about all these ideas that Michael's been telling me to do. So just to build the personal brand, man. Follow that for new things coming up. Follow Generation Y, the best, dopest people in the world. GNWY.co. And I say the dopest because Michael's a part of it, because everybody's got a purpose. So you're a part of the generation that's got a purpose. And then follow Million Club, man. Million Club Podcast, and join the club. So I've working on 1 million people fueling the next generation. So
Jordan, thank you again for joining us today. And those of you who are watching, this is obviously going to be your first time listening, but go ahead and hit all the things like, subscribe, and follow along for the ride. It's going to be fun. We're going to have some more interesting people coming into the play, and I'd love to also bring Jordan back, because this podcast, we probably got to maybe 3 or 4 of the questions that I actually had that I wanted to ask. There's a lot more that I wanted to ask, but the conversation was flowing, and it was too easy to stay on topic with what we're talking about.
You're an amazing host, bro. I appreciate the time. And also, don't forget www.pursueyourwhy.org. You can find out all about Generation Y there too as well. So thank y'all so much. And thank you, Michael, for being dope. And thank you for your talent, your heart, your dad abilities, and your love for people, bro. So appreciate you.